a sudden, I found myself in love with the world. So there was only one thing that I could do, was ding-a-ding-dang, my dang-along-ling-long.
All right, so we got Chris on. We got Chris on the phone. Chris is going to add to the podcast today.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Hi. Good. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. How you doing? You got that Massachusetts Boston thing going on, huh?
I'm from Boston.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, he does.
Yes.
All right, so we were talking about. Do you know what a blue waffle is?
A blue waffle.
Have you ever heard of a blue waffle? I've not heard of it before. Have you heard of it before?
Say no.
No, I have. I have not.
You've not. How about a?
Don't Google it.
Yeah, don't.
Whatever you do, don't do it.
Don't Google.
Okay.
Do it.
What's a Tallahassee gas mask?
Do you know what Tallahassee gas mask is?
No, I know what a. Well, I don't know what's appropriate for the year, but
Go for
I
it.
think I know where you guys are going with this.
Go for it. Dutch oven.
Covered wagon.
You got one.
Was it called a Detroit steamer or something like that?
Ooh.
A
Cleveland steamer.
Cleveland steamer. No,
Hot.
Detroit can't
Yeah.
claim fame to that one.
Hot curl.
No.
Wait, let's go one at a time.
Yeah.
Cleveland steamer.
Yeah, is that where you guys are going with this
Yeah, I
stuff?
don't know. What is a Cleveland steamer?
Well, I can't say it on the radio
Oh.
or on the air.
It's just a podcast, so we're not subject to FCC regulations. We're good.
Yeah, but I still wouldn't feel comfortable.
Well, he's got a job too. Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right. We're baiting people in, right?
So we
Got it.
were talking about I wanted to get to one particular more serious topic briefly.
Sure.
There's this stuff called I don't know if you read this story, but a bunch of 150 tons of fish floated up onto the Florida beaches in the last week.
Really?
Yeah,
Right.
red tide.
Red tide.
Because of the red tide.
Right.
Exactly. And does anybody know what a red tide is?
I think isn't it just an overconcentration of algae?
Keep going.
I'm not exactly sure. It's just that the chemicals aren't in line with each other, and algae or bacteria take over and cause fish and wildlife to die.
Yeah, in enormous amounts, including dolphins and I know. Jessica just said that. Oh,
Manatees, fish. You know.
Yeah, well, I've never heard of it to be that extreme. I grew up in the Cape, and red tide was always something that was relatively prevalent, but it was never, to extreme proportions the way that they're describing this current outbreak in Florida.
Yeah, did you ever see it for yourself? I mean, on the beaches?
No, not that I can recall, but I remember being down the Cape where there was red tide, going on currently.
Did you see it? Because you can see it. You can actually see the red on floating on the top.
I can't say that I recall that. No.
No.
But I just remember growing up. I mean, red tide was something that I heard about, periodically growing up.
So apparently, the 150 million tons that washed up on shore this week, is just a fraction of what actually dies. The rest stays on the surface or sinks to the bottom of the Gulf.
I heard there was two different stories on that actually, and one of them was Lake Okeechobee, however you want to say it. I mispronounced it and slaughtered it, so hang me. But apparently they've had a lot of rain down there. The lake overfills, so you have drainage, and you look at the drainage tables in Florida, and what happens is Florida has to do everything so it drains out, right? Because they're at sea level. So what happens is the lake started actually filling up, had so much fresh water in it, and they had to purge the fresh water because it was too high. Because if they let that water sit in there, it would actually flood out people that were living there.
Well,
cause problems.
In addition, I think that I don't know if this is related, but the algae can't survive in freshwater conditions. They have to have whatever it is, a sodium or alkaline level that is sustainable for them.
So that's the second part. So the second part, my mom and dad live down there, and my son goes to school down there. So he just went back down. He doesn't know yet, but when he gets down there and he can't go to the beach, he's going to be really pissed. But it was the last story that my mom was telling me was that they said it's because of the fertilizers. So everybody's fertilizing their lawns, getting all that stuff nice and green, and the fertilizers causing the problem because when they purge the fresh water into the salt water, that's what causes the issue. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I think just dumping fresh water into salt water causes problems because it becomes an algae alkali, issue.
Right.
So, but that's
chemical
what I know.
imbalance.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I wouldn't blame it on fertilizer, but it's possible, right?
Yeah, a lot of fertilizer, I'm sure, would be a big contributor or something like that, hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
So apparently this can affect humans as well.
Oh, they can have
particularly
allergic
if you have
reactions.
lung issues and
Can't breathe it.
respiratory issues.
Can't swim in it.
Can't swim in it because you're going to
It'll mess you up.
It'll mess you up pretty good.
Kills fish.
Sure.
Kill you.
Apparently the way the fish die is that they'll actually die through eating things that have infected say for example, mussels, right?
Oh.
So they'll go after the mussels to eat them, ducks, birds, whatever, other fish, and they're infected with it, and then it gets into their system, and within, I think it's about 30 minutes, it'll essentially render you helpless.
Dang.
And
Right,
then-
but it's going right through the digestive system.
yeah,
Kind of like Chipotle.
like Chipotle.
Yeah.
It's like eating a Chipotle.
Now, has anybody
agrees.
blamed global warming on it yet?
I didn't see that in the story because I think that this is it's a worldwide event that occurs naturally. And has for
And it's been happening forever.
that's
so.
been happening forever. It's basically the world. I have a concept that the world is actually trying to get rid of all of us, in some capacity or another. And it's I want to call it an equalizer.
George Carlin theory. Hey,
No.
the Earth wants to
Yep.
shake us off. It will.
No, it's much
Yeah.
more, it's much more powerful than
To control population.
population control is what it is. Even though I can sit out on my dock
Yep.
and try to catch a fish for 6 hours and it doesn't work.
Right.
Apparently, 150 million tons of dolphins will show up on the beach.
Yeah, it tastes like tuna.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
There's
No,
just
I'm just surprised that certain groups or organizations haven't, tried to blame the recent cases that seem a little bit extreme on global warming. That's all.
Well,
Just
I did hear Stevie Wonder actually blamed Aretha Franklin's cancer on global warming. That was an article I saw today. Yes, I my head exploded when I read that. I was like,
You're kidding. Was that TMZ thing? Or
no, I think it was Drudge. It might have been Drudge.
The Drudge Report?
Yeah.
So
somebody-
how would that have come
Well, this
how would
wasn't
that
Alex Jones.
Yeah. Well, Alex Jones.
Freedom of speech, man. Come on.
He's off the air now, right?
He's off of everything.
He's off of everything right now.
Damn it. Defend the Constitution. Anyway, sorry. I digress. Squirrel.